Welcome back, Rec Room players, and here are some tips on how to build trees in your maps. So to create your own trees just like these, you can use basic shapes and put them together to create forms that represent trees or anything that you would like to create. To get started, we're just going to open up our watch, go to our backpack, and spawn our maker pen. So since now that we have our maker pen, we're just going to pull it up to our face, and then we're going to open up the palette. Now this is where you can find all of your shapes, and this is where you can find all your colors. Now if you want to recolor a shape, you just open up your maker pen and go to the recolor tool and select that recolor tool, select a color, and recolor. So let's just pick a block here, and then we're just going to great. So now that we have like a fixed height and width, what we could do is we could manipulate that tool and just bring it in and expand and make it smaller, or however you like, or we can just go to our settings here and deselect uniform shapes. So when we deselect that and we just create a new shape, we can just have that just kind of on a flow there. So if we want it to be uniform shapes, we can just do that. That's a good way to get a really nice fixed height and width of a sphere, same with a cylinder, a wedge, and a pyramid. And usually how I go about building a tree is I will deselect snap usually, because it gives a little more organic feel. And then I'll just kind of like clone objects and kind of mesh them into the object. So it kind of like has that dimension where it kind of brings in like that bark feel. And you can see like that bark feel coming in here and just kind of like popping out a little bit. So it kind of gives that real impression of an actual tree. Alright, so to do that, you just continue doing that and building the bottom of the base of the tree. And this one's going to be super simple, but it's a good start. And then you can just go ahead and manipulate different sizes, bring it closer. And you start to get that really nice stick feel. And then you can like start to branch it out with a sphere, or you can use, pyramids, or you can use blocks, just like you can see here. This unique way of using blocks, putting little blocks in to kind of create kind of a leafy feel. But another really great way to actually create some foliage, and it's really cheap on your ink costs, when you open up your maker pen, this is where you can find your ink costs. Right now, I'm at 98.98%, mainly because I have a whole bunch of trees in here and none of them are merged, so it's taking up a lot of space. If I go into this tree here, let's go ahead and press done. Go into this tree here by going into edit. I can pull out these individual pieces and kind of like mesh them together to create that really nice bark feel. Yeah, pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and press undo. Great. Same with spheres, you can create a more organic look and kind of a really interesting top look there. You could put like apples in there, they could be falling on the ground, however you like. But the best way to do that is if you go into like a sphere, you have your sphere, right? It's like on fixed height width. We can go back into settings, undo the uniform shapes. Really make this however you like. And then just combine and mesh the shapes to create a really nice organic type of tree. I'm going to create the base here. You can make them really big here and try to go up and then make the big foliage by smash that down a little bit there to create that really nice kind of flat, even tone baseline on that tree. Bring that up a little bit. Fill that in a little bit. You can add a lot more detail to this, but I would just say this is probably the cheapest cost in ink if you're going to go this route. You can also use cylinders too. Tree is using a lot of cylinders. Cylinders do take up a little bit more space, but I do have a block version of this, which takes up a lot less space, and the cylinders look really nice, but if you're just having a really simple kind of scenery, it really comes together for the whole scene. All right, so wedges and pyramids are really, really good to use. It's really good to use like pyramids. You can like build these really kind of trees and then like kind of add these kind of wedges coming out to give it more contrast between the shapes and more dimension as well. You can also use pyramids to create really nice palm trees. There's other ways to create palm trees as well. You can use cylinders as well, but the most common one is actually pyramids here. To edit here, you can see how they're used and how they're placed on top of each other. But when you're doing this, it's actually best to be off of Snap because it creates a more organic feel. You can see how these rocks are kind of like forming in here. Kind of gives like a really nice touch to the environment. Pretty great. All right, so the next step, we're gonna actually go over tubes and how you can use that to create your own trees. So we're gonna get started by opening up our maker pen, opening up our palette, and then selecting tube. And this is what we see when we select the tube. Now you might see something different depending on your settings, but we're just gonna go into settings. And so right now we're on rotation and snap. We're gonna move over, and then what we can do is smooth tube selected. We're gonna deselect that. So now we have kind of like this nice, beautiful look to it. And we have 1 meter tube size, and just like gets bigger as you go through the different centimeters. You have fixed height tube, so if you like squeeze your trigger, it doesn't actually squeeze at all, so we're just going to go ahead and undo that. We have connected tubes, so if we have tubes connected, automatically snaps to that tube. And then we have tube height ratio, which gives you a really nice thin ones. You can really create some beautiful grass forms or even some trees as well with this type of form. So we also have these settings too, and it actually changes. We're gonna make that a little bigger. But if we go over to like 6, we have 10, we have a square, we have these kind of elongated. You can just mess around with these settings here and pretty much get whatever you like. So I'm just going to put this on the ground here, and I'm going to press down on my trigger. And I'm just going to slowly fly up while releasing the trigger. So I'm getting a really nice kind of point look at the end of that. So I'm getting kind of like a weird looking branch coming out of the ground at the moment. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the exact same motion. So I'm going to just kind of like follow this branch up, go along this branch, and then I'm going to branch out. So now it looks like the tree has a really nice stump to it and then going out into 2 points. So I'm just going to do one more here. All right. I'm just going to tap this. It does take a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, it's pretty much got it. All right, so I kind of like created this like weird looking shape. And what you can do is you can scale it up, and usually I like to scale off snap. And I'm just gonna tilt this up. And I'm just gonna clone this a bunch. Just showing a quick demo of how you can create your own trees and what kind of forms you can create for yourself. And there you guys go. A simple tree made out of tubes. So if you guys really want to like change your form somehow and you just can't really figure it out, you can either scale them up or go to your manipulation tool here and then click on the actual branch, and you can see that it highlights. When you go over the different little points in here, it like shows you that you can move this around. You can kind of like position this in any way you'd like, so you can change a lot of the forms after drawing. If you are looking to spice up your creative map, trees can help create different types of experiences, such as a hangout map, whether you're on a date or just camping out with your friends. You can use these trees by combining them to create your own experiences. You can use them to help break up the space to create unique environments for your games. If you are looking to spicing up your creative maps, we just added different styles of trees to the invention store. You can find them in your watch. Alright, you can find all of these trees in the invention store by opening up your watch and then going to the store, entering the store, and then going to inventions. Now I already put trees in here. You can find all of these amazing trees. To spawn the invention in, just go ahead and open up your maker pen. Go ahead and open up your palette, go to inventions. So I'm just going to spawn these ones in. Go ahead and snap. And you can see that I have 2 awesome trees that just got spawned in.
If you're enjoying these videos,
like and subscribe.